Hi, Daniel. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you're all right.
I'm great. Thanks for
Good,
having me.
good.
Yeah, it's great.
So we've agreed that we're gonna share our experiences of what we're up to, and so this is our first of a series of ongoing recordings that we're going to do in how we work together. So I just want to recap a
Great.
little bit because I put a post up. I'm Jarvis from My Green Pod. For those people that are watching, we are an ethical lifestyle media company. We launched an ethical marketplace, and our whole purpose is to create a toxic-free lifestyle for anybody that wants to shop online and disrupt the convenience model that is currently putting us into a massive amount of pressure when it comes to human behavior, consumption, and the climate crisis. So that's a little bit about me. Do you want to just, Daniel, just very quickly share who you are and the company and what you do?
Sure. Yeah. My name's Daniel Harris. I'm leading a project called Kendraio. We've been building an app that is the aim is to put users in control of their data, their privacy, and their interface to allow them to manage their personal data locally and also control the interface when they connect into services. And I think it's probably going to be easier to show that rather than
Yeah,
talk about it.
that's
Yeah.
brilliant. Thank you for that. So,
Yeah.
just want to remind us both how we met. So
Mm.
I was traveling, taking a bit of time out, 10 years into my business journey and having a recap. And I felt like I wasn't achieving what I wanted to achieve. So I put a post up on LinkedIn and I said, this is what I want to do. I want to create a toxic free lifestyle for anybody that wants to shop online. I don't feel like I'm succeeding. Can anybody help? Yeah. And you
Mm.
responded as did about 600 other people. But for some reason, I just felt really drawn to how you responded.
Mm.
Then we jumped on a call, didn't we? And we
We
had a
did.
chat. So
Yeah.
why did you respond? Like what captivated you to respond to my kind of call out for help?
Sure. I've got to actually look at the post again because I think it must have been shared by someone else that I may have been following, and
Yeah.
I don't often looked at LinkedIn in my LinkedIn feed. I've actually totally destroyed my Facebook feed, so it's kind of like it's my last addiction. Um, and yeah,
I
I
think
found the
LinkedIn's a bit
post.
safer, isn't it?
Kind of, yeah, it is a bit safer. Um, and yeah, I really the thing that you said was something like building an alternative Amazon, and that
Yes.
kind of got me thinking because that's kind of we've been thinking a lot about yeah how to put people in control of their shopping experience and
Yeah.
what that means and what that looks like, and yeah, so it I think it was partly because you at that point lots of people had responded and it was a big post in that way, and I thought, well, I'll have a go, and yeah, it was when we had our call, it was really good. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So, well, look, firstly, thank you.
Mm.
And actually that's brought us now
Mm.
into a kind of a playful working relationship. I'll call it a playful one because it is
Mm.
at the moment. So we're kind of trying to explore things in the spirit of collaboration and unity and
Mm.
support
Mm.
and
Mm.
changing things, aren't we? So that's amazing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
do you want to? I mean, you've elaborated now on kind of what you're doing, but I think I'd love to go deeper now. So
Mm.
so tell me what we chatted. I told you what I was hoping to achieve, and then you came to me and
Mm.
said, "Well, this is how we might be able to help." So, do you want to just
Yeah.
explain what
Yeah.
the purpose has been?
So just almost a precursor to that. I think I would have explained we're non-profit, we're open source, we're really a
That's right.
research organization. We're experimenting with lots of different possible ways that the future might be, and we are looking at what we want to choose from that, and what we want to put our energy and effort into, and um, so what we're doing is building. what's attractive for us is we want to work with real people who have real needs and build demonstrations of what of things that they might need. And then, like you say, we're playing with these ideas and seeing what might work. And also what's interesting is we might actually be able to build them. And that and I think this is all about progressing that timeline. And I've lost my thread.
Well, no, that's brilliant because
Yeah.
the fact that you are a non-profit, the fact that you are,
Mm,
if you like, researching and developing and
mm,
partnering in such a
mm,
way that we are, we're trying to build together a new paradigm, a paradigm that
absolutely.
is not is not wrecking, the future, for the planet, rather, for our future generations, right? And
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
give to give data ownership back to the individual, and to
Yeah.
to stop these corporations
Yeah.
abusing the
Mm,
access that they have to our information, all of that,
right.
isn't it? So
Yeah.
it's kind of
Yeah.
democratizing and making safe and
Yeah. I think the philosophy that we've kind of built up is it's very difficult to ask people to jump ship to a new world in one go. And so we need to
yeah,
build bridges from the old to the new. And it might be that in some cases, there's parts of the old world that we want to continue to interact with. And,
yeah,
and I think we're both quite aligned is it's up to the person, it's up to the human being to decide how they
yeah,
progress along, whether they do it quickly or slowly, or which parts they build anew or leave behind or stick with. And I think it's about having that freedom. And what we've been playing with is it's the question: what if the human being is in control of the interface, the literal visual interface that they're working on? What happens if they're in control of that and they can modify it, build new interfaces? And so it's that paradigm that we're working with, and I'll be able to show you a little bit of that. But it's fascinating once you start thinking in those kind of terms, what might be possible to actually build, because the construction kit is plasticine. It's like you're actually working with plasticine as you're using it. There you go.
nice. Yeah, no, it's brilliant, and you're able to
Mm,
mold it and
mm.
shape it. So let's get more
Yeah,
specific
yeah.
then, because I think we've given an
Okay,
overview. So
cool.
when you and I
Yeah,
chatted, we talked about the fact that we've got this online shopping platform, that we curate the
yeah,
best non-toxic, or actually non-toxic's not fair to say, the least toxic products we can
yeah.
find
Right.
right across the board for lifestyle. So, what people
Yeah.
eat, what people wear, what people, beauty products, shampoos, et cetera, et cetera, how they go on holiday, how they buy their energy,
Mm,
the whole thing. So real lifestyle choices. That's what
mm,
we've tried to curate. And one of the
mm.
things that we recognized when we were chatting is that some people might buy, I don't know, organic wine and bog roll and toothpaste with us, and yet
Yeah,
they might buy other things that they need from somewhere else, right? And we thought,
yeah,
well, I remember having the discussion with you, and I was like, well, that doesn't matter to me as long as they're
yeah.
buying stuff that is better than the stuff that's damaging our planet and
Yeah.
abusing our planet, and from
Mm,
corporations that don't care about anything but bottom
yeah,
line. So then we talked about, well, how do we potentially give shoppers an opportunity to be able to, if you like, aggregate or create their own
yeah,
shopping platform.
yeah.
That's how it started, right? Wasn't
That's
it?
how it started. Yes, that's how it started. So that's been that. Prior to seeing your post, that's been the kind of embryonic of that has been a vision of ours as well, in terms of how do we well, when the user owns the interface, they can go out to multiple stores and they can bring
Yeah,
back, aggregate that those products in one place and pick and
yeah,
choose and do investigations and research on them. So what was funny was we previously built a very rudimentary shopping cart for a local organic store in my village,
yeah,
and uh, using Kendraio app, and so I think the opportunity was quite quickly we could get something up and running to demonstrate and work on collaboratively that was specific to your shop, and that then
Yes.
we're sort of starting to work on something that we both, partially invested in, and then we
Yeah.
can riff on that theme. And I think that's really nice in terms of a collaboration, that we can get something visual and an interface up and running really quick.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. So do you
Yeah,
want to, I mean, now might be a really good moment to kind of
cool.
share what we've done so far, and
Yeah,
kind of, what we're
yeah,
playing with. And because
yeah,
what we want is we want people to see this and go, "Oh yeah, I get that," or
yeah,
"How about this?" or
yeah.
"Have you
Right.
thought about this?" And we want
Mm.
to really democratize things, don't we? And create something for the
Yeah,
people,
yeah,
right? From the
yeah,
people. Yeah.
yeah.
So we're just
I think
ambassadors, if you like.
Yeah, I think it's just talking about the potential of what can happen when we have technology that's aligned in a particular way. And I'm
Yeah.
going to share the screen now, and yeah, then just talk through the actual specifics of it. Um,
Okay, great.
uh, so what have we got? Um, so I'll just start off. When you hit Kendraio app, you'll see something very basic in terms of it, just a little bit of a description, and then we will the way we find what it's kind of within the app. You have like mini apps, and we're calling them flows. And
Hmm.
if we search for My Green Pod, that's the one we developed for you, um, and we launched that. Um, what it actually did then was it went to your website, and which is here, and it connected via an API to your website, and it pulled down all of the products. So we can now list these products in terms of, well, alphabetically, or in terms of sales, and because what you wanted was you wanted to present to the user a list of bestsellers. So this is a way that we
Yeah,
can do that. And
yeah.
just for the more technically minded, the way that we create this page is uh, with this flow. This, so if you click on the cog, I won't go too much into this. You get this flow, which basically defines the screen, and I can show a little bit more later. But yeah, it's gets a bit geeky. But anyway, what the actual flow does, the mini app, it allows a user to select items that they want to purchase. Then they can change the quantity, which you would do in a normal shopping cart, and then it calculates the order. And because it's research, that's it so far. That's where we've got to, because we basically took an old flow and we just updated it with your um, product list. Shall I do a little bit about the interface and the flow, just to get people
Yeah,
understand that a little
yeah.
bit?
So I
Yeah,
think,
yeah.
and talk about what the potential is with it, and
Yeah, right.
yeah.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so here's a slightly geeky moment. The um, this may or may not mean something to the viewer, but this is how we connect with the API of the MindGreen Pod website, and we pull down all of the products, and then this is where we display them in a data grid. And you can go play with this. You can go find this. We'll put the link into the description, I'm sure. Um, and that's how we create this screen. And so the potential of this is, at the moment, we've got, as you were saying, how can a, a human being access multiple shops at the same time? And I should just say this is a grid at the moment, but it could be so a list of picture, more looking like a normal shop where you've got pictures and things like that. So we will be able to display these in multiple ways.
Yeah, so it could pull in the data in a format that is more more familiar with shoppers
Absolutely.
and people
Yeah,
alike.
absolutely.
Yeah,
That's a good point, because this doesn't actually look like a shop in terms of usual normal experience. But that's a question of styling and things like that. And then
yeah, yeah,
uh, also the the part that links to your database could also equally link to other databases of products. And then the user at the moment can alter the filtering and searching of the product lists. I mean, your product list actually downloaded quite relatively quickly, but and actually, so all of the products are actually local. But there's no reason why we can't do a remote search, because in some cases there might be millions of products, and that might take a long time to actually download. So
mm,
this app can operate in multiple ways, either operating on remote data or local data, and seamlessly the user doesn't need to know which it is. So you'll be able to do searches across multiple shops and find products that are specific to the searches that you make. And so to add in another shop is and connect with that data and have that included in the data we see here is really possible.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I love that. I'll tell you what's coming up for me at the moment is, let's take a shopping platform like eBay as just an example. So
Right.
what you've got there is you've got a mismatch, if you like, a mix up of brand new products that people are trying to sell on a shop, yeah, from a shop platform, and then you've also got products that are reused and
Right.
upcycled or being
Yeah.
recirculated, etc. And I think there's
Mm.
huge potential if we are going to move into a more circular economy, or a reuse. Let's take the fashion industry for example. There's enough clothes on our planet right now to clothe the next 7 generations or 10 generations
Yeah.
or something
Right.
ridiculous like that.
Yeah.
So we
Right.
don't really need to be making more clothes. We just need to be sharing
Yeah.
what we've already got. So there's
Mm-hmm.
huge potential, I think, in that sharing economy opportunity as well. So it could be
Yeah.
like, do I need to buy this new? Is there already one in circulation that's
Right.
nearly new that I can get, and
Right.
or et cetera, et cetera. So I
Yeah.
think there's such huge scope with it, isn't there?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's including that. And for me, personally, the exciting thing is I can search across multiple shops using the criteria that I want. For my sins, I still use AA batteries in most of my um, uh, sort of like torches and things like that.
Yeah.
And I like to buy things that have AA batteries. So when I do a search for a product, I try and find out whether they use AA batteries. So, because that's my kind of standard
Yes.
at the moment anyway. And so the exciting thing for me is I'd be able to search across multiple um, product databases and find products that have that use AA batteries. That
Yeah.
might not be available on certain stores, certain big shops. They might not provide that particular filter,
Yeah.
and because they haven't thought about it. But rather than having the reliance on the service provider or the developers at their end, I can create new categories at my end and ask for that information, and
Yeah. I
that's
love
the
that.
exciting thing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it
No,
might,
it is.
obviously, yeah, yeah,
No, it's
yeah,
brilliant. And I was just thinking, actually, one of the brilliant things, and what I love about that is that there are let's just take a cleaning product as an example. There are
right,
certain levels of toxicity within the ingredients that are harmful. Yeah,
right,
particularly if it creates a cocktail of harmful concoctions in your home, then you've suddenly
Right.
got this really harmful environment. And so
Right.
I'm thinking of it from a perspective of, if somebody needs to buy a product with really low levels of this particular ingredient, it has to
Mm-hmm.
be in there because it needs to do its job. But it's, it's really low. And then so people could put in, I want a cleaning product that has this in, but it has to be under a certain level
Sure.
of volume.
Yeah.
So that's super cool. Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hadn't,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hadn't thought of it from that perspective.
And
Yeah,
if the shop doesn't have that metadata attached to the product, they won't get access to that user because the user
yeah,
won't see it. And there's even a way that we could start to notify the shops, hey, you didn't get access to this set of users who use these set of searches because you didn't include the metadata with your product. And you're
yeah,
losing out on this kind of revenue based on
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
So because there's lots of opportunities here that potentially when you yeah when you give the when you move the interface to the user that we might not have in the current state of how we shop.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because at the moment, it's literally serving up things that it thinks you want rather than actually
Right.
specific things. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, that, and now
Great.
we're moving into the age of AI and personal agents. What happens
Yeah,
if I've literally got my personal agent on my shoulder and it's
yeah,
doing the searching for me? And
yeah,
Um, so from a kind of like a personal agent point of view, when you've got the user being able to decide how they aggregate that, which shops that they go to, um, they they could actually possibly get the AI to do a lot of the legwork
yeah,
before
yeah,
they actually arrive on the scene and look at the
yeah.
products. Yeah, yeah.
And the other area I see is there's loads of potential for people that do want to start boycotting those, those institutional organizations that are owned by institutional investors that are funding things that we might not necessarily align with. So there's that
Mm-hmm,
huge potential. So look, Daniel,
mm-hmm.
I think we for episode one, I'm
Episode
really
one.
happy with the information that we put in, and then maybe we
Yeah.
could have a weekly or bi-weekly update on where things are and how things are developing. Would that be good?
I think that's great. Yeah, let's look at what the potential next steps are. Either adding in another shop, or to show how things can be combined together, or looking more at
Yeah.
the cart side of things. Or yeah, I'm totally up for just experimenting and playing, as we say. Yeah,
Yeah. So what I'd love to do as next steps, and I think it'd be important for us to have a next step at the end of each episode, is that
mm.
I've got another marketplace provider, has got a really good marketplace, slightly more mainstream products in a sense.
hmm
We're really value based. They're more about getting people onto the journey and then trying to kind of help them to develop their more sustainable lifestyle. So them going for a slightly
right.
more mainstream customer. What I'd love to do is bring them into the equation. You have a chat with them, and then see whether we can bring that marketplace into the space and see where we go from there.
Sounds awesome.
Okay, cool. All right, Daniel, I'm
Yeah,
gonna make that happen. I'll try and set
yeah.
up a call for us as soon as possible. We'll leave it there. So episode one of My Green Pod shopping and also you, and let's see where we go from here.
Awesome, lovely.
Brilliant. Thanks, Daniel. Cheers.
Ciao.